Hello and welcome to Alma, Missouri. This is episode 10 and we're going to be spending the majority of this episode, well, pretty much all, in fact all of this episode, readying our farm for the winter. When I say readying our farm, to the best of what I think the winter will be. We've not gone through a winter here yet, so we don't really know. So it's going to revolve really about getting enough shelter for all the equipment that we can't fit in the sheds, etc. Right, so the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to take a bit of a chance. I'm going to sell the header trailer. My long-term plan, or certainly medium-term plan, is to really work the fields quite close to the farm, so I don't think we'll really need it. And so we've sold that. And then we also need to get rid of, or we need to move the pressure washer for cleaning the vehicles and the workshop box, or the toolbox. So we basically will have to sell them and then rebuy them when we move them. That just gives us the space. As you might have noticed there, we've also got rid of all the rubbish that was around that little area and the shed that was at the end of that little path. So it just opened up that little area, and when we got rid of all the rubbish, it got rid of the rubbish on that track down to the pond as well. So that was a bit of a bonus. I didn't find that out until I started mowing, which we'll see in the next episode. In any case, so what I want to do is I want to put a lean-to next to the dome shed, if you want to call it that. So if we had a lean-to the side of it, and then we can keep our headers under that. Let's get that going, and we'll just fit it in as best we can next to the shed. It's got to kind of connect up to the shed more or less. It's always a little bit finicky and tricky, and after I'd done this, I did think, remember, I've never used it before, so I'll have to have a look at it. I think it's called a Snap 2 mod. I don't know if that would have helped me out. Yeah, it may have, but we'll see what happens. Right, let's get the header in there, see how it fits. Oh, nice and easy. We can take a bigger one if we ever want to move to a bigger header as well, but for now, perfect. The thing is, it's undercover. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get things that are not going to be in sheds undercover. I don't know whether it'll be enough for the wind to really protect the equipment during the winter. But we'll find out soon enough in the next couple of months. I think what I'm going to do is just move it slightly to the side and then put the corner header in here as well. That'll give us a little bit more space in the actual shed for the combine, and we can put a couple of other bits and pieces in there as well. Yeah, that's looking good. Keep it right to the back so that it's as protected as can be. Would have been nice if those lean-tos had sides to them. Would have made it that actually would have made it ideal, or the option to have sides. You could just have the same mod with sides on or without sides on. But yeah, it's still better than them just out in exposed to the full force of the elements, when they are going to be exposed to a fair amount of the elements. That fits in there nicely. It's almost like it was made for these two headers. Well, don't know why I didn't want to disconnect there. In any case, it's just nudge it forward slightly. That's fine. We don't have to do any more than that. That's perfect. Perfecto, as they say. Right, so the next thing I want to do is, behind there is to put in another shed that I want to use for storing the cotton bales and any loose IPCs or big bags, any other bits and pieces that are lying around the farm. Now, what I didn't realize when I was putting this in is that this is actually a workshop mod. So it has a workshop in it as well. However, I'm not going to use that as a workshop just yet. You'll see towards the end of the video why. The main reason that I'm not using it as a workshop is because it's very close to the edge of the farm. I think we're right on the edge of our land, and I just I won't preempt it. You'll see at the end, and I'll show you where I've put our workshop in, and I'll explain a little bit more why I put it in there then. Right, so that's that done. Let's try and get some sort of roads in here, and this is kind of where I realize that we're pretty much on the edge of our land here, because as you'll see, as I'm trying to paint in some more gravel to lead to the entrance of the door, there's some areas where it won't paint, and that's usually indicative that you're pretty close to the edge of your land. Doesn't mean you're over your land. That does seem to cropping in, but we must be just, and we'll have to check that up. I am doing a voiceover of this, so I will have to check at a later stage when I get back into the game to see whether we are actually perhaps over our land. I didn't check that. If we are, we'll have to deal with that. We'll have to go and visit the neighbour and see what happens. We won't worry about that for now. My land surveyor has told me to relax. He says he's pretty confident we are still on our land, but I don't know. I'll go and check it out for myself at a later stage. Right, let's just see how much we can do with creating a pathway to the door here. Or not a pathway, a track, road, whatever you want to call it. If we start at the top here and then work back, let's see what happens. We do need to have reasonable access down there, because it doesn't have to be extremely wide, because for now we'll use the forklift to bring pallets into here. I still want to use some of this grass for feeding, certainly this winter. I want to do another quick cut before the end of November around the fields. Just take another couple of bales of grass into storage for the So there's plenty of room in here for storing bits and pieces and odds and ends and all types of things, but mainly cotton until we want to sell it. I think fairly slow producing cotton, particularly now when we are still growing our herd. And then I think we've got a bit of fertilizer and a bit of seed under the one tree which will have to go in as well. We'll sort that out at some time in the future. But yeah, let's just get this into the store. Of course, if once we start getting our cotton production going nicely, we can look to putting it in a proper warehouse, particularly if we have any other productions on the farm. I'm going to try and I think I might have mentioned it in one of the other episodes, we're going to try and use the productions that are on the map already to a large extent to buy them and use those, simply because, well, at this point in time, they're very close to where the pizzeria is, which is our main aim is to become fully self-sufficient in pizza production. So we've got a grain mill down there, we've got all sorts of productions down in the town. So I'm not quite sure whether we'd really need a full-on warehouse up here. But as I said, the cotton fairly slow to produce, and certainly during the winter I want to have a place to store the pallets of cotton as soon as they become full. Yes, there's plenty of place here. Of course, we'll try and keep them separate to any of the other stuff that we'd store in here. Store this at the back, and maybe just as you come into the left-hand side, as you're driving into the left-hand side there, maybe that's where we'll store any, along that wall, any excess seeds or IBCs or big bags and those type of things. Right, so the next job is we need to sort out our trailer park. Get some sort of shelter for our trailers. I'm putting in a fairly small trailer park at this stage. We've only got 4 trailers in total. I think it'll be a while before we need to get any more, and we can adjust as we do that, or as the fleet grows, and if we need more area. But we might have to find a different place to make a trailer park, because this can pretty much take 4 trailers comfortably, maybe 5 trailers. Let's just put the trailers in there, and then we can see how they fit. It's going to be a little bit touch and go size wise, and I think when I looked at the measurements, this the bale loader just fits in. Let's just make sure that it's pretty much undercover. I'd rather have the back sticking out than the front sticking out. We'll have to check all these things before that's the front sticking out there. Yeah, that's about it. There we go. Doesn't matter which order they go in. The main thing that I like, that I wanted for the trailer park is drive in, drive out type situation rather than having to reverse trailers in all the time, just waste time. So you want to have a situation where you can just drive through. Makes for nice, easy, neat parking of your trailers. This is for our auto pellet loading for our transporting our tomato product. We'll be able to do the cotton with it as well. We'll be able to do any pellets with it basically. Yeah, we've still got space for the grain trailer, which I'll put in at a later stage. Right, now the next job is to get some cover for all the front end loader implements, which I've been storing against the wall of the implement shed. So I think we'll put in another lean-to there. Just got to get everything out now. First of all, we need the front loader on before we can move anything. Yeah. Yeah, because this I haven't played this map before. I have heard that there's quite a lot of snow between sort of December and I think March. So not quite sure how that'll affect gameplay. We'll see how it goes. We'll still have to do bits and pieces, but maybe we can, the whole of the winter months will take one episode, because we'll be limited in the amount of work we can do. We'll have to keep on top of the tomato production, of course, as we will with the production of wool, and of course the feeding of the animals. We may be able to, during the course of winter, get cheese going. That's a big issue. Well, a big issue is it's a big project. It's the next project which we really need to do, or try and get going. So yeah, it's really going to be interesting. The jury's still out on whether we're going to keep this bale grab. I think is a high possibility that we'll get rid of it and just use the normal bale spikes. Let's get this plough out. We'll keep this plough out here for now. It's pretty flat. We can't. Well, for now, I'll keep it out here, but I might put it into the dome shed or the hanger shed. I think that's probably a better word for it, the hanger shed. Right. Let's get that lean-to in now. The other thing that I haven't considered yet, and I need to look at, is the GPS system for the workers. I've forgotten what it's called. The John Deere. It comes with the precision farming mod. I think I haven't put that in, but I'll worry about that at a later stage. With the course play, we seem to be able to be doing okay with the fields. Although I must admit, in that centre field, when I was just using the plain ordinary worker, it did require a bit of extra input, but it is such a weird shaped field that I'm not sure whether that GPS positioning satellite thingamajig for the top of the roof, or you also get a little building for it, would make a huge amount of difference. We'll check it out in the future. Looks about right. So this whole little area is becoming nice and busy and workmanlike. We certainly have started putting our own stamp on this farm. I'm not sure whether we've added to or detracted from the, I'm not going to say the beauty of the farm, the effectiveness of the farm. My personal opinion is because I'm setting it the way I want to move on the farm, is that it's for the better, but we'll see. It's like everything else, you think that's the way things will work nicely, give you a nice flow, but something else comes and throws a spanner in the works. But we're not going to worry about that now. I'm sure these lean-to sheds will be okay, and they don't look out of place with the rest of the sheds. The only thing that I suppose could look out of place a little bit is the hanger shed that I put in for the pallet storage. It's a bit more European, but it doesn't look too out of place there. It's kind of hidden in the trees as well. Not hidden in the trees. Very hard to hide something like that. Kind of blends in there. That's at the back of the farm. Yes, I keep thinking about the workshop that's in there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I still have, as I've mentioned, it wasn't where I wanted the workshop to be, so I'm going to just use that as a spare, if you want to call it that. Maybe we can use it for big jobs. We can see. But I don't want to be using that while I'm storing stuff in there. Use it mainly as a storage warehouse. I may have chosen, I think there's two things. There's probably one with a workshop and there's probably one without a workshop. I might have just chosen the wrong one when I came to put it in, but it's not a real problem. Yeah, those all fit in very nicely there. Just a little bit of just enough room there to put the plough in, subsoiler plough. It's one of my favourite bits of kit, that, because it's especially when you're creating fields. That's another thing that I might try and look at before the end of November, is converting that area in front of the cow shed, the grass that goes down the bank, maybe ploughing that up and planting grass again to get better yield from that little bit of an area. It's a fair chunk of land. It's quite undulating and quite steep. I think it would be best suited just for a grass field. But if we can put proper grass in there. It might be to our benefit. Right, now I think what we need to do is put some gravel in front of these shed lean-tos, covers, whatever you want to call them, make them access, or supply access to them without having to drive over grass, which I would imagine could become quite muddy in the winter time. So we need to gravel it all up, bit of hardcore down and all that type of stuff. I think we can open up most of this area. Not all of it. It's nice to have a bit of green here and there until you find something else to put in it. This is the farmyard, this is the yard, you know, it doesn't have to be pretty, it has to be functional. So far I'm quite happy with the functionality of the way things flow. A couple of corners and that which I need to round off and make accessible, but those are easily sorted out. We'll sort out quite a few of those while we're doing this now. Also, I don't want everything to look exactly symmetric and things like that. You know, I like it to look a little bit rough. Yeah, that's what I like. Nice, easy access to the open up the area between the greenhouses and the stone crusher. We could institute a one-way system around the farm. I'm not doing it at this point in time, but I do like to. I'm a great believer in working in circles, so doing a lot of as little retracing of your steps as possible. It's not always possible, so I like things to flow without repeating. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. So, and the easiest way to do that is a circle or a one-way system. But the thing with a one-way system though is if you implement it, then you're kind of limited in the direction, or at least you should be limited in the direction you can move. If you have a circular or even a square that kind of joins around, you can move either way. Of course, that is also dependent on how many people you've got working in the area. But seeing as, in this case it's just generally ourselves, not a problem. So I won't designate the movement around the farm as in a direction, but you'll see that it will most probably naturally flow. That's the idea, is that it kind of naturally flows in a I keep on saying circular, and in a round fashion. I don't know. I'm confusing myself just talking about it, so I don't know about you. It's all about not, at the end of the day, it's all about not trying to be as efficient as possible in your movements. That's what it's all about. So let's open up the front here now. Starting to look good. Not going to worry too much about decorations at this point in time. The other thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that it's, if we need to get involved with snow plows and these type of things, that it's as easy as possible. There we go, that's that done. Let's round off this little area here. And this has been irritating me, this little protrusion there. Let's round that off. I think we can leave that bit of grass there. Just break up the just pure whiteness or the pure graveliness with some slightly dirty gravel, just make it look a little bit used. Yes, I think we've just about got everything that we can under cover. Of course, we don't have anything in the horse area, so if we really have bad weather, we can always put stuff in there for now until we get horses. Right, I've just had a bit of a problem. Somehow I managed to switch off the recording. I know, it's just me. Okay, so we'll just take a quick drive around and I'll show you what I did off camera now. So as you can see, I had also got onto the mowing, which was preparation for the next episode. But there were a couple of additions that we did, and I'll show them to you now. So as you can see, we've put in some. We'll take a closer look at those in a little while. The buildings are around there, and I'll tell you why I've put them in there. So I just wanted to show you the workshop area of in this barn. So there's a workshop in there, which I didn't notice either when I put it up. I just started seeing when I put on the markers for the. I noticed the blue light shining underneath the door, and then I checked up the description, and so this is actually a workshop. We're not going to use, as I said, we're not going to use it as a workshop for now, simply because I wanted our workshop to be up here, just so that it's nice and easy access and almost drive through for our vehicles. So I found this little container workshop. It is a mod. Just open the door to get into the trigger points. Vehicles just park in the front, and then I've put the washer there, and at the front I put in What you saw to start off with, I put in a petrol Bowser or a diesel Bowser. So we've got basically a vehicle maintenance area, and it's kind of on one of the loops in the farm. So yeah, you can drive in and drive out, drive around. Gets back to this to my ramblings of earlier on about efficiency of movement. While I'm here, I think it's actually quite good, because I didn't realize that I had not gravelled this area in front of this, the very first lean-to that I put up. So we'll just do that now quickly, and then pretty much we'd have completed where I want to be for getting ready for winter in terms of the farm area. I still want to get all that grass, windrowed and baled up, put into the sheds as well. Yeah, we're going to have to check up whether how far or how close to the boundary we are. So I really can't get that last little bit of area in front of the storage shed or the storage hangar. Just can't get that paved in any way. We'll see, we'll check it up. Yeah, well, I think with that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this little farm improvement program. If you have, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Cheerio.